I'm James Hall, a registered migration agent for Australia and licensed immigration advisor for New Zealand. I'm also the CEO and founder of ANZ Migrate. Today, I'd like to provide you with specific details about the National Innovation Visa, known as the Subclass 858. This is Australia's exclusive permanent visa pathway for individuals with an internationally recognised record of exceptional and outstanding achievement. Now, it's worth noting that the National Innovation Visa replaced the previous Global Talent Visa program. The government restructured this pathway to better align with Australia's national priorities, particularly focusing on critical technologies, health industries, and renewable energy sectors. The NIV is designed to attract researchers, professionals, entrepreneurs, innovative investors, athletes, and creatives who can make significant contributions to Australia's future prosperity. The National Innovation Visa operates on an invitation-only basis. You cannot simply lodge an application. The process begins with submitting an expression of interest, or EOI, to the department. Now, in terms of the statistics, as of December 2025, the department has received 2,368 EOIs and issued 226 invitations. This demonstrates that this is a highly selective program. The department processes invitations according to four distinct priority levels. Priority one is reserved for exceptional candidates from any sector who are global experts and recipients of international top-of-field level awards. These are awards such as Nobel Prizes, Breakthrough Prizes, the Turing Award, Olympic gold medals, or the Pulitzer Prize. Priority two covers candidates from any sector nominated by an expert Australian Commonwealth, state, or territory government agency. Priority 3 includes candidates with exceptional and outstanding achievements in a Tier 1 sector. There are three Tier 1 sectors: critical technologies, health industries, and renewables, and low emission technologies. Priority 4 encompasses candidates with exceptional and outstanding achievements in a Tier 2 sector. These sectors are agri-food and ag-tech, defense capabilities and space, education, financial services and fintech, infrastructure and transport, and resources. Now, in terms of how long you might expect to wait for an invitation, this varies significantly based on your priority level and the strength of your indicators. Based on our experience with clients, we see strong candidates in Tier 1 priority sectors with multiple high-level indicators, usually invited within 3 months. These are typically applicants with three or more strong achievement indicators in critical technologies, health industries, or renewables and low emission technologies. For lower priority candidates, for example, those in Tier 2 priority sectors with two indicators, we typically see invitations issued within 1 year. However, it's important to understand that receiving an invitation is not guaranteed. If you're not invited, you will not receive any update from the department. The department simply does not respond to unsuccessful EOIs. Now, let me explain what each of these priority sectors actually covers. Critical technologies includes potentially transformative enabling technology. Specifically, this sector covers advanced information and communication technology, advanced manufacturing and materials technology, artificial intelligence technology, autonomous systems, biotechnology, clean energy generation and storage technology, cybersecurity technology, quantum technology, photonics, robotics and positioning, timing and sensing technology. The majority of invitations issued to date have been in the critical technologies sector. Health Industries focuses on innovation in medical manufacturing and sovereign capabilities in medical science. It's important to note that this sector focuses on the industrial, innovative, and commercial side of health. It does not look at achievements in the practice of health, such as working as a medical doctor or nurse. The sector includes antimicrobial resistance, artificial intelligence in health, biochemistry and cell biology, biotechnology, genomics, emerging health threats and emergencies, health economics, implantable and wearable devices, infectious disease prevention, pharmaceuticals and precision medicine, and medical science manufacturing for therapeutic products. Health industries is the second most common sector for invitations. Renewables and low emission technologies covers technology that will support Australia to reach net zero. This includes biomethane production, circular economy innovations, clean energy technology, emission reduction and carbon storage, green metals, low carbon liquid fuels, processing and refining of critical minerals, renewable energy generation, transmission, distribution or storage, renewable hydrogen, and waste to energy technology. This is the third most common sector for invitations. And then we have the tier two sectors. Agri-food and agtech covers innovation or value adding in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries sectors. Defense capabilities and space includes advancing sovereign defense and space capability. Education covers academia, research or management in universities and higher learning institutions. Now, it's worth noting that this sector does not require achievements specifically in innovation or technology. I'll provide you with a specific example of this shortly. Financial services and fintech includes advancing innovation in the financial services or technology industries. Infrastructure and transport covers advancing innovation in the transport sector and infrastructure projects. Resources includes innovation, product development, or value adding in resource sectors or critical mineral supply chains. The department will assess your EOI based on indicators of exceptional and outstanding achievement. Now, I'm going to explain each of these indicators in detail because understanding what the department is looking for is crucial to building a strong application. The first indicator is for international top of field level awards. These are awards for exceptional and outstanding achievements that are available in all fields. The department provides a list of examples, but these are not limited to the examples given. Examples include Nobel Prizes, Breakthrough Prizes, Olympic Gold Medal, and other major field leading international awards. These awards demonstrate that you are recognized globally as being at the very top of your field. If you hold one of these awards, you would typically be considered under Priority 1. The second indicator is receipt of a national level research grant for the highest quality research in Australia or from other countries, showing that the individual is at the top of their field. In Australia, this includes Australian Research Council grants and Department of Education Accelerator grants. From other countries, this includes equivalent level grants such as United Kingdom Research and Innovation Grants Program funding, funding from the EU Commission, funding from the US National Science Foundation, or other similar level grants. Now, as a specific example, in Singapore, this would include grants from A*STAR, which is the Agency for Science, Technology and Research, or other Singapore government research funding programs. What the department is looking for here is peer recognition. National research grants are typically awarded through competitive peer review processes, and receiving such a grant demonstrates that experts in your field have assessed your work as being of the highest quality. The third indicator is for holders of a PhD with high levels of academic influence or thought leadership in their field. Now, simply holding a PhD is not sufficient. You must also demonstrate high levels of academic influence or thought leadership. The department looks for several specific measures. First, recent publications in top-ranked journals. Typically, we're looking for Q1 or Q2 ranked journals. The emphasis here is on top-ranked journals in your specific field. Second, a high H-index for your stage of career. The department provides an example of an early career researcher with an H-index of 14. Now, what constitutes a high H-index varies significantly by field and career stage. In some fields, an H-index of 14 for an early career researcher would be exceptional. In other fields, different benchmarks apply. Third, a research-based degree from a top global university. The department provides the example of a university ranked in the top 100 world university rankings by Times Higher Education. However, it's worth noting that the quality and impact of your research matters more than simply where you obtained your degree. Let me provide you with a specific example from our recent cases. We had an applicant who is an associate professor, which is equivalent to level D in Australia, who lectures in humanities. This applicant was selected based upon his recognized PhD, a record of articles published in high-ranking journals in his field, and a scholarly H-index of 14. He obtained his PhD just over 10 years ago. This case demonstrates that academic excellence across all disciplines, not just in science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, can qualify under the National Innovation Visa. The fourth category is other measures of high-calibre talent. This includes several specific indicators. First, recent keynote appearances at high-profile international conferences. Examples provided by the department include Web Summit, International Congress of Mathematicians, American Association for Cancer Research, annual meeting, or International Geoscience and Remote Sensing Symposium. Now, there are several important points to understand about this indicator. We are looking for national or international level industry type events. Internal or in-house company events do not qualify under this indicator. The event must be recognized within your industry or field as being significant. Despite the department providing high-level events as examples, we have clients invited with this indicator speaking at industry events. Despite the department's reference to keynote appearances, you may still be considered against this indicator if you are attending as a session speaker or participating on a panel, especially if you have attended multiple such events. What matters is that your expertise is being recognized at national or international industry events and that you are being invited to speak because of your standing in the field. Second, earning at or above the Fair Work high income threshold. And now the high income threshold is currently 183,100 Australian dollars per annum. It's important to note that this threshold is indexed annually on 1st July each year. The department will consider this indicator where there is written communication from an Australian employer offering employment in Australia with an annual salary equivalent to or higher than the high income threshold, or where the primary applicant's current earnings are an amount equal to or greater than the high income threshold. This indicator recognizes that market value can be a signal of exceptional talent. If organizations are willing to pay you at or above this threshold, it suggests that your skills and expertise are highly valued. The fifth category covers additional indicators that the department may consider in conjunction with nomination by an expert Australian Commonwealth, state, or territory government agency. These include athletes and creatives who will raise Australia's international standing in their field, evidence of innovative investment activity with an established track record of supporting successful innovative ventures, evidence of promising entrepreneurial activities that will lead to the commercialisation of a product or service in Australia, particularly where linked to Commonwealth, state, or territory based innovation hubs, and recognised intellectual property attributed to them, for example, holding relevant international patents. Now, I need to make an important clarification regarding intellectual property and patents. The department's website currently lists recognised intellectual property, such as holding relevant international patents, only under this section for candidates nominated by government agencies. However, this is incorrect. The ministerial direction, which sets the actual parameters for the program, does not restrict this indicator only to government-nominated candidates. Based on both our experience with successful applications and what is stated in the ministerial direction itself, intellectual property is available to be considered as an achievement by all professionals in priority sectors. We have had successful applicants who received invitations based upon patents without government nomination. The department's website is incorrect in how it describes this particular indicator. Now, there are two additional indicators that are used by the department in practice, but are not actually listed on the Home Affairs website or under the ministerial directions. These are particularly relevant for professionals. The first is being a technical leader, specifically holding a senior technical expert role at an internationally competitive organisation in a priority sector. This demonstrates that your expertise is valued at the highest level within organisations that compete on the international stage. The second is being in senior management, specifically leading or directing an internationally reputed organisation in a priority sector. The organisation's standing and your role within it both matter here. These indicators are being used to assess professional applicants, even though they are not explicitly listed in the public-facing department documentation. We see these indicators applied regularly in successful cases. Realistically, we are seeing that applicants in a priority sector who have been invited typically demonstrate at least two achievements from the indicators I have outlined. It's worth noting that this does not need to include a high salary. You can be invited based on other combinations of achievements. The strength and international recognition of your achievements matter more than simply the number of indicators. Two very strong indicators in a Tier 1 priority sector will position you better than three weaker indicators in a Tier 2 sector. Let me provide you with specific examples from our successful cases. The first case involved a technical leader in artificial intelligence. This professional is a highly accomplished innovation leader driving large-scale digital transformation and strategic initiatives within the global technology sector. They currently hold a senior leadership role at a major multinational technology firm, specializing in scaling complex product ecosystems and spearheading high impact programs across international markets. They were invited to apply based on two achievements: being a technical expert at an internationally competitive organization and current earnings at or above the high income threshold of 183,100 Australian dollars. The second case involves senior management in the cybersecurity sector. This professional is a highly accomplished executive leader driving digital transformation and strategic growth across the technology sector. They hold a senior leadership role in a prominent global cybersecurity firm and are a frequent keynote speaker at international conferences. They were invited based on being in senior management of an internationally reputed organization in a priority sector and current earnings at or above the high income threshold. The third case involved a technical lead in the financial services and fintech sector. This professional is a technology leader with extensive expertise in cloud automation and financial technology, and a co-inventor of a patented financial transaction processing system. Their work includes developing high-security systems for leading technology companies, and their achievements have been featured in international industry case studies and media. They were invited based on three achievements: being a technical lead of an internationally reputed organization in a priority sector, being an inventor of an international patent, and current earnings at or above the high income threshold. Now, I mentioned earlier that Priority 2 covers candidates from any sector nominated by an expert Australian, Commonwealth, state, or territory government agency. This is a particularly important pathway because it can open the program not only to professionals, but also to artists, sportspersons, entrepreneurs, and investors. Currently, 4 states and territories are actively conducting nominations for the National Innovation Visa. These are New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, and South Australia. Each state and territory has its own specific requirements and strategic priorities for who they will nominate. When you receive a nomination from a state or territory government agency, this places you in Priority 2, which means your application will be processed ahead of Priority 3 and Priority 4 candidates. The state or territory nomination also allows additional achievement indicators to be considered, including achievements in the arts, sports, entrepreneurial activities, and innovative investment. We will cover the state and territory specific requirements and strategies in other videos, as each jurisdiction has different focus areas and application processes. If the department invites you to apply for the NIV, you must lodge your visa application within 60 days of invitation. It's important to understand that receiving an invitation does not mean the department has pre-assessed your eligibility to be granted a visa. Once you lodge a visa application, the department will assess you on the merits of your application and the supporting evidence you include. You must be nominated by a person or organisation with a national reputation in your area of talent. The nominator must be an Australian citizen, an Australian permanent resident, an eligible New Zealand citizen, or an Australian organisation. The nominator completes Form 1000, the nomination for National Innovation Visa. There is no age limit for this visa. However, if you are under 18 years old or 55 years or older when you apply, you must demonstrate that you would be of exceptional benefit to the Australian community. There are also no English language requirements, but if adult applicants do not have sufficient evidence, a basic level of English, an additional visa application charge will apply. The visa application charge starts from AUD4 on 840. Processing times for visa applications, once lodged, vary approximately from 6 months to 1 year, depending on priority factors and individual circumstances. The National Innovation Visa is a permanent visa. With this visa, you can stay in Australia permanently, work and study in Australia without restrictions, enrol in Medicare, sponsor your relatives to come to Australia, and travel to and from Australia for 5 years. If eligible, you can apply for Australian citizenship. Now, if you're considering whether you might be eligible for the National Innovation Visa, the best approach is to obtain a realistic assessment of your situation. The key factors are whether your achievements are genuinely at an international level, whether you work in one of the priority sectors, and whether you can demonstrate at least 2 of the achievement indicators I've outlined. It's worth noting that the department's published priority sectors and achievement indicators provide guidance, but there are nuances in how these are applied in practice. The two additional indicators I mentioned, technical leadership and senior management, are being used even though they are not listed on the website. The intellectual property indicator is available to all applicants, not just those with government nomination as confirmed in the ministerial direction, despite what the website suggests. If you're not sure about your eligibility, talk to us. We can give you a realistic assessment of your chances based on your specific circumstances and achievements, and we can help you understand which indicators apply to your situation and how to present your case most effectively. I hope this information has been useful. Stay tuned for updates, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing to our channel for more detailed information on Australian and New Zealand visa pathways. In upcoming videos, we will cover state and territory nomination strategies, specific sector requirements, and how to prepare the strongest possible expression of interest.